Welcome to Idea Tennis, where we challenge ideas, elevate thinking, and serve up conversation that make you question everything. So when we say feeling is the secret to creation, meaning that if you feel anger, you're gonna create whatever anger dictates. If you feel love, whatever love dictates. If you feel sadness, whatever sadness dictates, you're gonna create. So you create based on the things you feel. So if you understand that, then what energy do you want to be in to create from?
I am grateful for the problems that I have. Because I know people have problems way worse than me. When I was in the height of illness, and every once in a while when it starts to try and creep in and I feel extraordinary pain, I'm like, I am thankful for that pain because it's a reminder from God that I am alive.
But I was like, sometimes in your past, you went through a certain struggle, and the struggle was so painful, but you pick up a key in that moment, and that key is for a door maybe 10 years from now. That key gonna open a certain door. But just imagine you went to that thing and you ran away, didn't pick up the key, got to the door 10 years later and need to open it.
I don't have to worry about the outcome because whatever the outcome is, I'm gonna win. I'm either gonna learn something or I'm gonna get ahead. But either way, the outcome is going to be what is destined for me.
Just today's conversation is just going to be a light one when we talk about feelings, because I think we need to have this conversation today. We need to put this one on the board. And here's a quote I read not too long ago in one of Neville Goddard's book. And it said this: feelings is the secret to creation. And if you want to create anything, there has to be a deep sense of feeling about it. You have to feel it. And without that kind of energy, a lot of times many things don't get created. And you can kind of run your feelings to the emotional scale, different levels of it. But feeling is the secret to creation. When you hear that, what comes to mind?
Control your feelings, control your life. It's true. I was listening to Tony Robbins, and one of the things he says is problems are a sign of life. Problems create change, and ultimately, progress equals happiness. When you think about the change that you create, we get so stuck in the problem and in the feelings that we don't see sometimes the things that are right in front of us. I mean, how many times don't we get caught up because of how we feel about a certain thing, a certain person, a project, whatever? It's like you could have hurt feelings or you could have results.
But here, so I guess Tony Robbins' quote and Neville Goddard's quote going to battle today. But because when I think about feelings is a secret to creation, whatever feeling you have, you're going to create what that feeling normally creates. So when we say feeling is the secret to creation, meaning that if you feel anger, you're going to create whatever anger dictates. If you feel love, whatever love dictates. If you feel sadness, whatever sadness dictates, you're going to create. So you create based on the things you feel. So if you understand that, then what energy do you want to be in to create from? And some people like, I'd rather be in the gratitude energy to create from. I want to be in the energy of love to create from. But you got to determine which one of those feeling dominates you, because based on that, it's going to dictate how you perform, what you create. Those are my thoughts. What comes to mind for you?
When you talk about the feeling and creating, and what's the best feeling in which to create? I'm
From.
always from, I'm always going to go back to love, right? The feeling of love, not romantic love, just feeling of that falls into my whole thing of serve and solve. Uh, and when I look to create something, I look to serve and solve. I look for the favor as a result of the faithfulness. I look for the purpose that fuels my passion. And that ultimately comes back to love, loving on people. What happens then when you allow outside factors to influence how you feel?
They will. You forget we've been put in an environment, and environment dictate performance. So your environment is going to control how you feel in a lot of ways, consciously or subconsciously. So when you recognize that, my environment dictate my performance, therefore I got to make sure that I put myself in the right environment. If we want to go back even to some of the books that most people read in the Bible, he always talks about you put the seed on whatever soil, right? it determines how that seed grow, if that seed grow at all. So the environment matters. And because I know this, just because I know what the environment does to you, I respect the environment I'm in. Like even the cold, you up there, you're up north, way up north, and it's cold and it's freezing and the soil is hard. Only certain kind of trees hang on up north. You know them. They don't let some of them don't let the leaf fall off. It stays on them, right? Call them the what? The pine trees. There's certain kind of trees that survives in a certain weather. So you understand the environment matters. And once you understand that, you say, "Hey, I'm not gonna stay here because I won't grow here. Because I'm a southern tree, Brody, right? I'm not gonna stay up north because I won't grow well up here." But you gotta understand that.
So then, do circumstances determine outcomes?
Somewhat. Somewhat, right? Because if you're conscious of it, matter of fact, a couple of days ago, me and a lady was talking, and we was talking about automation versus conscious, being subconscious versus unconscious, right? And I was like, do you want to do stuff automatically? You want to do it consciously? I'm like, I would love to do everything consciously, because then I realize I'll be in full control, but we are not. So therefore, the brain automates things because for that purpose. But if you're living your life very conscious of what you're doing, then it turns out to be a better day because you start controlling everything you do. But if you're not, then the automation works on you. The habitual thing works on you. But I don't want to do nothing habitual. I would love to do everything consciously. And we was talking about that same thing here. Yes, feelings drives what you do, but also the environment as well. But you gotta understand how much power the environment have over you.
Do
Hmm?
you only build business and do things that are productive when you feel the feelings that help drive that? What happens when you don't feel those feelings? What happens when you're angry, you're sad, you're mad, you're disappointed? You are the opposite of the things that fuel your passion and your desires.
That's a great question. If I'm angry, if I'm sad, if I'm mad, you should have the freedom to go take some time off. But because we are fully occupied, right? We have a job, we're tasked out to the moon. You gotta go do stuff even when you don't feel like doing it, which makes sense if you're the only one that's hunting. But if you're not the only one hunting, I'm like, man, guess what? Today's my anniversary of my parents' death. And you know what? Your body knows it because the trauma sits in your system, right? There's the experience you've had that the body remembers, but maybe you've tried to forget, but the body remembers. On the anniversary, you will feel a certain way about it, not even know why you feel that way about it, but because it's in your body. Things like, you know what? I just realized my anniversary of this major car accident I had, and on that day, for some reason, my body just it goes back there without me even thinking about it, and I feel a certain kind of way. I need to take some time off. But if you don't have the time to take the time off, you would sit in that space and you would create from that energy. You would do a lot of things. But if you have the time to take a break and recognize that moment, I'm taking over your word right here, and show respect to that moment, then it becomes different. But if you don't, you're in a cycle, not even realizing it.
Not everyone could take the break, though.
True.
That's reality.
That's reality. And therefore, you create from anger, create from sadness. And what do you create? More sadness, probably, more anger.
So, how about when someone feels like that, instead of focusing on taking the time off, if you're someone like me, I
Mm-hmm.
focus on what can I do to create a new feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's listen to a podcast, right? Read from my devotional, meditate, but what can I do that's in my control to be able to flip the switch and turn that negative energy into positive energy? How do I go from the dim light to the bright light without losing the fact that something created that feeling that I had? I don't want to dismiss the right to have that feeling, but I also can't sit and stay in that feeling. That's the hard part for most people, because the easy part is to sit and stay because you feel like you have a million reasons why you're justified in having those feelings. But the hard part is reframing and changing the mindset, creating the new feeling that you want to be able to use to help you serve and solve and push through and push forward. Pushing through is not easy. Not in business, not in personal. Pushing through is not easy. What makes it easier is to have people that help you push through and that you're not doing it alone. Community.
Oh, how old are you, by the way? If you don't mind me asking.
51, Asher. We've talked
51.
about this a
All
few
right.
times.
51. I just want to make sure. I don't want to guess the age wrong. 51. So just imagine you have 51 lights, right? And you mentioned dim lights, right? Because I think in life we're always dimming a certain light, right? So if an emotion or a feeling or energy, you want to call this, it's a light. So you got to dim one to turn the other one on. They can probably on at the same time. So you got to figure out if sadness is one of those lights and it showed up today and like it's turned on, it's kind of bright. It's like I got to dim you so I can turn on this other light. But sadness is like we need to talk. No, you might dim it, but it's gonna come back around and it keep coming back until you talk to it and you recognize it, you show appreciation for it and see what's in it. But we do a lot of things. We keep dimming the lights, like, oh, this one pops up and turn that one off. Pops up, turn that one off. But they all serve a purpose. So you gotta figure out how long you want to keep the lights on sadness on for. But that doesn't mean you gotta get rid of sadness. Sadness has its place. But how long do you keep it on for? And sometimes that's the hard part to manage.
Did you learn that in therapy?
I do.
I knew it. I
Well,
knew it.
not the metaphor itself, but about the feeling
Yes.
and the emotions,
Yes.
because they're there from something that happened previously, and they have a reason, they have a purpose. It's just a matter of how do you manage them when they show up at the wrong time. Because they might show up when you're like out there hunting. I'm like, bro, this is the wrong time for me to feel like this. I gotta kill this deer. I gotta fight this lion. But after that, you gotta go back and say, hey man, you showed up today. What you need? What you need? And it's like, yo, we need to talk about last year anniversary. It's just the time of your parents' that we gotta talk. We just gotta go through it. But if you keep suppressing and hiding, which I did a lot of that myself, because I keep doing like, which is like we gotta do something to dim that light. But then you don't recognize what it's here to teach you.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. We hide and busy
Mm-hmm.
because silence forces us to face what's not working. And that's really hard for most people. It's easier to keep going, keep going, keep going, almost as if you're running away from the thing
Mm-hmm.
that's causing you to feel a certain way and not taking the opportunity to say, well, maybe this is the time that I need to stop moving because momentum and motion are not the same. And when we are just moving to keep busy, almost to suppress the feeling or to suppress, and the feeling could be disappointment. The feeling could be we've tried our best in our business and the outcome hasn't been what we anticipated, whether it's we didn't get new clients, we didn't make new sales, I haven't excelled to the next level, whatever that is. And so you don't see almost what's right in front of you. You were moving, absolutely. You were moving in a circle, getting nowhere. You were moving fast most days, but you weren't creating momentum. You weren't creating change. You weren't creating results. You weren't doing the thing that you feel you were meant to do. It's helping people get off of that track of running nowhere and understanding that sometimes the silence gives us perspective. The silence turns the lights on. It allows us to
Mm-hmm.
see the things that are right in front of us that we are running from to keep us busy. Maybe it's that I'm not in the right industry. Maybe it's that I love my business, my company, but I don't love the leadership. Or maybe it's I love my business, I love my company, but I can't do what I'm being asked to do because I don't have the right skill set. I don't have the right training. I don't have the right know how. And all I'm focusing in on is the feeling of that I don't have enough to do what I need to do to get ahead instead of reframing that and changing the narrative to What can I do to become more than enough to accomplish what needs to be done? Do I need to learn sales strategy? Do I need to learn mindset matters? What is it that I am missing that's allowing this feeling to feel so overwhelming every time it creeps up, and is essentially, instead of getting me closer to my dreams and what I want to help others do, it's pulling me back.
Mm. A lot come to mind just listen to that. To just do a little rant just now. I like the rant when just going a little rant. But here's something to think about. The skill set that we need, oftentimes it's skills that we already have. So, you talk about going after it, doing it, but I think you should go back to gratitude. I think that's the energy to build from because gratitude make you look at what you already have. But we don't do that a lot. We always looking for something else that we don't have, not recognizing that we have something, and we need to look at that differently. So as I'm doing the work I'm doing right now, and it's beautiful to see when people go back and revisit their record and look at that and say, what's in my record that I can actually put to this thing. And oftentimes you're always pulling from your past. Like nobody pull the skills from the future, by the way. Only mentally, but physically, you're using skill set that you already have, but you don't value it. Therefore, you never use it. And this is what's happening right now with most of us when it comes to how we feel. We don't feel great about our past. Therefore, we don't use it well. If you feel bad about your past, you're not going to use it well in the present. You're going to chase, I need to find something else. No, use what you have, but be grateful for what you have and use it differently. So you can't see opportunities when you're not grateful, by the way.
Oh, I agree. Every day, the first thing I do is thank God for a new day of life. And every day, no matter what the day was like, I give thanks to God and I express gratitude. I once heard, I don't know who said it, but that if you woke up the next day and all you had was what you gave gratitude for the night before, what would you have left?
Mm.
And that stuck with me always. I'm like, what if I didn't say thank you? Like when I go to bed and I say my prayers, what if I didn't say thank you for my family, my son, my circle of influence, my community, my health? Like, what if I didn't say thank you for that? What would I
Mm.
be left with if I woke up the next day? I, I, I truly believe that, yes, when you focus on gratitude, it's very hard to focus at the same time in like lack mentality. You can't be grateful for the things that you don't have. You're focused and grateful on the things that you have.
There's this joke that says, if you know the last king of France, if you had to change your living condition with their living condition, would you want it? It's funny because the like if you think about your current condition compared to the current condition
Mhm.
of the last king of France, you would realize that, man, it is way better than I thought. It is.
Oh, I agree. I am grateful for the problems that I have because I know people have problems way worse than me. I'm grateful for the, when I was in the height of illness. And every once in a while, when it starts to try and creep in and I feel extraordinary pain, I'm like, I am thankful for that pain because it's a reminder from God that I am alive. Because there are people here, not here to experience that pain, not here to experience life. It's, it's the way we look at things that determines our ability essentially to be able to express gratitude for them. When someone has, I don't know, someone who doesn't have much money and they're very budget conscious with their food. So maybe they're just I'm gonna so a poor Puerto Rican meal um,
Mm-hmm.
is, which I actually love, which is like white rice and fried egg, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so growing up, I used to hear stories from my family about being poor and only having white rice and fried egg and whatever, right? But when they were eating it, they were giving thanks to God for it. It was a delicious, sustaining, fulfilling meal. Was it steak? Was it potatoes? Was it asparagus? No. So it's the perspective in which we are able to look at the circumstances, the challenges, the difficulties that we face in any given moment and be able to say, thank God for that. Because it could be worse.
On that thank God note, how about this? You say you're grateful for the problem you have. And here's another spin to it. It's like, thank God you're saying, God, I'm so grateful that you trust me enough to give me these problems. Because when you don't have no problem, it's like, God, you don't trust me enough to give me these problems anymore. It's like God, like why you don't trust me enough to give me any more problems? But when you have a problem, God is like, well, God trusts me enough to give me this problem. Like, you gotta recognize the power in that. Like, He trusts you to give you these problems himself. If He stop giving you problems himself, that means He doesn't trust you anymore. And maybe it's time for you to go home, right? But you gotta recognize that. How much the more problem you have, the more God trusts you. Because like, Jess, you can handle more. I'm gonna give you some more. But if you start giving you a problem, maybe it's a sign He doesn't trust you anymore. Maybe you start
All
looking
right,
around.
Asher, get out of my head because I'm going to read this note right here that I have. Literally, anytime you have a setback, don't take a step back because God has already prepared your comeback. The enemy attacks those that are advancing. It's part of the storm of life.
Mm.
And it's every time there's great vision, something new, the storm shows up. The question becomes, do you show up?
Mm. And you wrote that down.
I wrote that down on the 25th. Look, let me see.
Mm.
Can you see on the 25th? As I need to
Mm.
like black out the name of that company, but yeah, on the 25th. Mm-hmm. I wrote it down on one of my many notes of somebody said to me, like, you have so much paper, you write so much notes. I'm like, because it's when I'm
Mhm.
writing the notes, it's almost as if I'm engraving it into my brain, into my heart. It then becomes a part of me. It's the whole control your feelings, control your life. Like I woke up in the middle of the night and I wrote that down because I was like, I don't want to forget this.
Mhm.
I don't want to forget this. Why? Because for me, that was a profound statement. Control your feelings, control your life. And control your feelings doesn't mean suppress them, ignore them. Control your feelings are like, don't let them own you. You own them. You lean into it, you deal with it, you figure it out, you move forward, you leave it in your past as a lesson, a blessing, whatever it was that that feeling didn't allow you to do. See that for what it was, and then figure out how do you keep going without that feeling now.
Also, the feeling piece could be looked at where you control the feeling, control your life, control your life.
Mm-hmm.
It could be where you point that energy.
Mm.
Because even anger has a purpose. Like if I'm fighting in battle, I need to be angry, right? In some ways, right? The energy just gets you going. Like different energy has different move different things. And if you like the sad energy doesn't move some physical thing a certain way. Like there's different energy because it moves things differently and it moves you differently. So maybe sadness mean I need to slow down, right? And it's like, hey, slow down today, Jess. Today's a beautiful day for you to recognize something else. I keep using your word. What's going on with that? I know, but sadness could be a something that says slow down, Asher. It's time to slow down and look at the world around you. But if you don't, you're gonna keep moving fast and using another energy and pass by things that you need to pick up along the way. I forget what I was talking to, but I was like, sometimes in your past, you went through a certain struggle, and that struggle was so painful, but you pick up a key in that moment, and that key is for a door maybe 10 years from now. Like he's gonna open a certain door. But it's just imagine you went to that thing and you ran away, didn't pick up the key, got to the door 10 years later and need to open it, but you gotta go back 10 years to go get the key. That's life. That loop is gonna be very long for you. So you're gonna be stuck in a place where like, I can't get through this door because the key is 10 years ago. I gotta walk 10 years back to go pick it up. So you gotta appreciate those moments you have and make sure you learn the lesson, pick the key up so when you get to that new door, I can open it. So feelings are important. We just gotta point them in the right direction.
When others run from the storm, we should run to the storm.
Mm.
The presence of God will show up in the fire. So many of us, like I said, so many of us, me included, you included, probably everyone who's listening to this, avoids the hard parts at some point in life because they're tired of feeling strong, brave. They want the easy. They want the easy button. They want immediate, they want microwave success. They want immediate results. They want the feelings to just all of a sudden vanish, be gone. The true reflection is, what did I do or what didn't I do in this situation to create this feeling? So many people, including me at some points in life, and I would think including you at some points in life, find it easier to point the finger at something or someone else as to why things aren't going as planned instead of looking inward. That's the hard part that a lot of people try to skip. I want change, but am I willing to change?
You know everything is your fault, right?
It is.
Everything is your fault. You know that, right?
Yeah.
If everything is your fault, then everything that could be right.
It's my fault too. Yeah, that's why I said everything is our fault. We accept ownership for the good, the great, the not so good, the not so great. They're all were choices that we made along the way that got us to where we are. Could we have made different choices? Perhaps. Perhaps we picked up the lessons that we learned along the way to be able to be better and know better and do better. And so now the next time we had a choice to make, it was a better choice, a different choice, now a different outcome and a different result. Absolutely. But that only happens because we learned the lesson. We got the blessing. We picked up the key.
Mm. This is something for a lot of people. It's very hard for a lot of people to accept this, that everything's your fault. Because we think about, things that happen to us and like I got hit by a car. I mean, that was your fault. You're like, no, that's not my fault. It's car fault. So the your fault piece that I'm talking about is the meaning that you make from the event. Like you can't change what happened, but you can change the meaning of it. And so when we talked about people like, I can't change my past, I'm like, nobody can change your past, but you can change the meaning of the past because what happened in the past is what meaning you make of it. And the only time you can change it is change the meaning of it, how it means, what it means to you. And that's all we do with everything in life. It means something today, tomorrow it means another thing. It means something tomorrow, it means another thing the next day. So all we're doing is changing the meaning of things, not the thing itself, what we think we are. So when you see the power that's my fault, it's my fault because if I keep the same meaning, it's my fault. If I change the meaning, it's still my fault. But it's on you because you're doing the meaning making of everything.
Yes. When we think about like an accident,
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't our fault. I was a passenger in a car. We've all heard this story before. 17, flew out the window, right? That wasn't my fault. I wasn't driving. I was asleep.
Wait. Let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
If it wasn't your fault, then whose fault was it?
There was no one to blame.
So if you back up the situation, days before that, weeks before that, could you find a reason why it's your fault?
So in that particular circumstance,
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it was fault. I believe it was preparation. So how I see the events that happened that day is my fault. So I could have faulted the driver of the accident. I could have looked at all the negative and all the everything of that accident instead of finding perspective of that accident then changed a lot of things in my future. Had that
Hmm.
accident not happened, then maybe some of the things that happened in the future would have never happened to me.
Let me ask you this other question. Did you made any decision that took you to that point where the accident happened? Before the accident?
We made the plan to go. What do you mean?
Exactly. So you decided to go there where the accident showed up. So if you back up anything, you can see that it's still your fault because you've made some decision to go wherever the thing. If something fall out of the sky and hit me, like if there's a some rock fall out of the sky and hit me, did I make a decision to be sitting in this spot right now?
All right, Ashley, but we're turning the decision from the negative to the positive. We're showing that everything in life happens for a purpose. There is no coincidence. Even the things that are not the greatest things that happen to us in our life have meaning
Hmm.
and purpose.
Well, it doesn't have any meaning until you give it a meaning.
All right, yeah, okay, Asher, philosopher.
No, no, seriously. So things happen without meaning until we give it a meaning. So we are meaning maker of the thing that we experience. Because the thing that it means to you is not the thing that it means to me. Therefore, it can't be the meaning of the thing. We make the meaning, we add a meaning to it. So what Jess mean to me is not the same what I mean to Jess, but it's just Asher and Jess, and I mean Jess. So I'm saying the meaning making happens on our side. That's the only thing we control and change. Everything else is happening with you or without you. The sun is gonna rise tomorrow with or without me. I can say tomorrow is gonna be a beautiful day or it's gonna be a bad day, but it's still the same day. My meaning makes a difference.
It's that perspective, that
Mm-hmm.
power perspective, to you or for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is it happening to you or is it happening for you? Everything that we face and go through in life, we have the ability to play the victim mentality of this is happening to me, this is why I can't do XYZ, or this is the reason why, and think that that reason why then becomes the explanation. People have heard me say this, I don't know how many times. An excuse is not a reason, and a reason is not an explanation. We all have choices to make. Either you do or you don't, or you will or you won't, but whatever it is, ultimately you are the decider of that choice. And so, because of that, you have to own the consequence, the result, the outcome of that choice.
You know what people never like to give up? A
Control.
great a great result. When
Uh,
a result is great, they're like, this is mine. But if it's bad, it's not mine. It's just like we played it in the ego card, right? Oh, that was my ego. Like it's two separate person in there. No, it's the same you. It's all you. You blame your ego for the bad thing, but the good thing you don't blame your ego for either. So I'm saying is all of this is all you. Everything. It's your fault. All of it. The good and the bad. That's just my thought, my take on all of this. So when it comes back to feeling, if you feel great about it, if you feel bad about it, your feeling, you make the meaning, you attach the meaning to your feeling. Because I might witness the same thing and I might see it differently than you. But why does it feel differently for you? Because you give it a meaning based on how you feel things.
that whole to you and for you perspective. Absolutely. That determines the feelings too. That determines the lesson and the blessing. The to you and for you perspective changed my life incredibly.
Mm.
It changed the way that I thought or think about everything that happens in my life. I am grateful for the good, for the bad, for the challenges, for the obstacles. I am, because if you, when you think about it, of being grateful for something that you have, maybe at one point you didn't have it.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Now you have
Let's
it.
talk about
And
that.
yeah, now everything is so different. You feel gratitude because now you have it. But on the days that you didn't have it, what did you feel?
Tell you a joke, not a joke, but I was talking to somebody, one of my friends. I remember when she was working on a business and she was like, man, I just wish I had some clients, somebody. She wished she had clients. Then she got clients and she's like, oh man, I'm having so much power with these clients. But here's the thing. At one point you wish you had them. Like, I wish I had somebody I can work with. for free even. Like I can't even find somebody to work for free. Nobody wants to work with me. But then people start showing up. And you're not like you wish for this at one point in your life. You have it now. But are you grateful for it? And we don't. We're not. You're so right.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, be careful what you pray for because you just might get it.
Well, you will.
I think it's true for a lot of things, and especially in the entrepreneur world, people get so caught up in feelings and emotions that it allows them to not have perspective. And without perspective, without understanding, without having the mindset of growth and the to me, for me perspective, which I call the power perspective, you can't serve and solve other people's problems with the product, with the service, with the business, with whatever it is, merch that you're selling, whatever it is. You can't serve other people if you are led by the ego, if you are caught up in the feelings, if you are not able to express gratitude for how far you've come, for having more faith than fear, and taking that leap and starting a business. Most people get stuck behind the start line. They're stuck in the idea of wanting to be an entrepreneur, the idea of starting something different and new. But they're controlled by the feelings of fear, the emotion of being scared, that they can't cross that line and start something. Being able to see that you are so much further along today than you were yesterday, the day before that, the week before that. Give thanks to God. Be grateful for where you are, because it only means that you have someplace bigger, better, bolder, more beautiful waiting for you to arrive.
I got a challenge for you.
Oh, Jesus. What's the
Oh,
challenge,
Jesus.
Asher?
Well, let's pull out three feelings on both sides.
Okay,
One
we
that
got
you
to
think,
wrap up soon. So,
one that you think is not going. It's like those are the feelings or the emotion. We go feeling emotion here. That you think is the one that you don't control that much, and the one that you're really in control of. If you had to pick your top three on both sides, what would you say?
so actually, Tony Robbins
Mm-hmm.
said he's never met anyone that was fearless, but he knows people that fear less. I was like, that's a good one. That is a good
Mm-hmm.
one. So, no one's really fearless. Fear you can't control, but you can fear less.
Mm-hmm.
That to me was a mind. Um, so, what was the question again?
Yeah, feelings, three of them.
Okay.
Three that you think you can control a lot, and three that you don't think you control. You don't think you control.
I mean, I'm going to say this.
Start with the positive, then go with the negative.
Calm is a superpower.
Mm-hmm.
Calm is a superpower that I needed to learn. And I'm sure many people listening can relate to this part. Not just women, but a lot of women, even when they're silent, their
Mm-hmm.
facial
I'm talking about
expression
you.
says it
You're
all.
three. You're three.
So
You're three
calm
on
had
this.
to be a superpower that I had to learn. I had to be able to turn off my facial expressions when I was inside wanting to scream,
Okay.
and
So
had to
calm
learn
is
how to be
calm.
calm. So to me, calm is a superpower. Calm gives you a lot of power in situations, whether you're playing poker and you got to bluff, right? You need
Okay,
to
so
stay
calm is one.
calm.
What else?
I'm also going to say the only thing you control is you.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control how you feel.
Yes, you do.
If someone hurts me physically,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel the pain. All that.
You, so you can't stop feeling, but you can control how you feel. So you can't stop the feeling from showing up, but you can control it. That's all I would frame it. So if happiness I love this quote from Punjab Papa. He said, "Happiness is permanent. It's always here. What comes and goes is unhappiness." So happiness comes and goes. Sat Happiness is here and unhappiness, like they all showed up, but you control them because that's like we go back to the light bulb. You dim the
So
thing that
the
shows up.
only thing that I feel that I can, so calm is the superpower, and the only thing that I can honestly control
Hmm.
is love.
Okay, so love is one you got. So calm and love is okay.
And
You
then I
got
said,
control over those. Okay,
yeah,
what else?
we went from fearless to feel less.
So you do you control fear or you don't control fear?
I move in spite of fear. So I don't, fear doesn't control me.
So you
You
control
still
fear.
you still feel the fear,
Okay,
but you fear less because you know that you've been through every difficult moment, challenge, obstacle, and you've survived.
okay. So I have calm. You can control your calm. Love, you can control your love. Fear, you can control your fear. Which one you think is out of control for you? They think you struggle with the most.
Disappointment.
Disappointment. There we go.
We're
I'm not
having
I'm not doing
therapy,
therapy right
guys.
now with
Just
you.
so we know, on Idea Tennis today, we're
Yeah.
having
This
answers therapy.
disappointment sometimes goes out of control. What else? Two more.
Actually, I don't know what the other two
I
are.
think you do. I don't know. Could be one of them. I'm just saying.
That's not a feeling. Um,
Hmm.
really? Mm,
Disappointment is a big one.
yeah, I think that's the only disappointment is because we all have expectations.
Hmm. So maybe expectation is one you can't control. I don't know. I'm saying
I mean,
expectation.
but that's not a feeling. I guess it is. I
To
guess it
feel
is. Yes.
expected.
Yeah, we
Hmm.
have expectations that don't always pan out, and so then we feel disappointment. I don't know what the third one is. I don't know. Sometimes back in the day, and every once in a while, it still creeps up in me. I get angry.
There we go. Honesty.
I get angry.
But I think you got control
Angry
of that
Jess
one
is
too.
not nice, Jess, but I've learned to change the perspective on anger.
Hmm.
And I guess the three words that I didn't have control over are the three words that are connected. When you get angry, it's because you're disappointed because ultimately you had an expectation and it didn't work out as planned. And then that resulted in anger. But being able to then take the things that you feel you have control over, in this case, having perspective and calm to be able to see things, the thing that you're looking at differently, and to be able to have empathy and through love to
Hmm.
ultimately have the ability to fear less. Because when we try to control outcomes, it's because we want to, we have an expectation. When we fall
Hmm.
short of that, either because of internal or external controls, we then almost become paralyzed by fear because things didn't work out. And what if I try it again next time and they don't work out again? And so then we're like dead in the tracks. But if you're able to see that, okay, I can still have fear, but I have less fear because I know that in the end of the day, everything's going to work out just the way it's expected to, not because of what I have planned, but what God has planned for me in my life. I don't have to worry about the outcome because whatever the outcome is, I'm going to win. I'm either going to learn something or I'm going to get ahead. But either way, the outcome is going to be what is destined for me.
So oftentimes you're disappointed in God's outcome.
Never.
Well, that's what disappointment is.
No, I'm disappointed in the thing that God didn't tell me. not to go to work today, let's say. I made that choice. God gives us free will. I made that choice. So because I didn't go to work today, 1, 2, and 3 didn't happen.
Okay, let's play this out.
Right? 1, 2, and 3 didn't happen.
You wake up today and you're like, I don't feel like going to work today. No, matter of fact, slow down. Say for example, it is 9/11, 2021, and for some reason you worked in the World Trade Center. You woke up, something that says, don't go to work today, Jess.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what it is, but I just feel like not going into work today. I don't know what it is. You didn't go in, but guess what? Your office got blown up. But then you're gonna say, "Oh, I know that was God telling me." But if the world trend didn't blow up and somebody like, "Man, you missed work," blah blah, man. So a lot of times things are happening that are tied to a bigger web on the spider web thing that we don't really even know right now. Like I woke up today, feel like giving away some money. I don't know why, but just giving away some money. But somebody was praying for this money, and I woke up with the feeling of giving it away, and then end up giving it to that person I was praying for it. So like there's so much connection that's happening based on how we feel. Because I'm telling you right now, feeling, right? You said we don't control them, meaning that we can't stop them from showing up, but they show up. So who's bringing this feeling to your system? Like something is triggering, is causing this feeling, is delivering this feeling for you to feel a certain way at this point in life, and it caused you to do something. And you're like,
Your
why do I?
mindset.
It's not only that. What I'm getting after here is there's a deeper thing at play here with a lot of things that we're doing. We just don't understand. And you might wake up feel like doing something. Don't know why I wake up feeling to doing this thing, but you wake up with that feeling to do it, and you do it because feeling is a secret to creation. Feeling drives a lot of things, whether you like it or not. We do things because of how it makes us feel. No other reason but that one. That's why we do things. Even if you said, "Oh, I'm doing it for this other reason," that other reason has a feeling. And you pick that feeling to do it. So everything ties to a feeling. Why you're doing it. So disappointment again. I know you said disappointment is a thing, but if you don't control the outcome, then why you're disappointed when God choose something other than what you expected, even if
Because
you don't
we
like it,
have the expectation, because we expect something, but God knows better.
and that better could seem like it's bad in the moment.
But if you have the power perspective,
Mm-hmm.
then you see that it is for
Mm-hmm.
your good. The Bible
Mm-hmm.
says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, when you face trials of many kind, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Joy comes in the storms.
Mm. I'm gonna clear something up here. You don't control the feeling, you control the way you feel about your feelings.
Yes.
Because the feeling's gonna come.
Yes,
How you
you
how,
can't
how
control
you
them,
feel
but you
about
can.
them is on
Yes.
you, but they're gonna come. What
Yes.
you do with them is on you as well, because they're gonna come.
All right, Asher, let's wrap up today's session. Don't send me a bill because I didn't ask for this.
We got some more personal jest today.
Yeah,
We
it's
did.
all good. It's all
Well,
good.
thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing your feelings, Jess.
I like peeling back so people see you where you are today, but they don't see what you've done to get to where you are. How
Mm-hmm.
you've worked on your mindset, how you've created this idea of perseverance, that everything's always going to work out for your good, that you have the ability to have a power perspective or a victim perspective. And so I'm going to wrap up my last words before you wrap up yours. And I'm going to go back to the way I started with our Tony Robbins, because 3 days of Tony Robbins had my brain just. But I really want everybody to control your feelings, control your life. That's the Jessica-ism of the episode. But keep your courage and keep showing up. When you cross the threshold, you can't go back. And someday leads to a town called nowhere. So embrace the journey and life becomes magnificent, in the words of Tony Robbins.
Mm. I'm working on this one book. It's probably gonna take me a while to get it done. But the subtitle I settle on right now is called "The Battles of the Stories." And what that means to me right now is the physical thing that we want, we don't ever really have it. What we have is the story about it. So the battle of the story is all about whatever this story is that I want to claim that somebody doesn't want me to have. I'm fighting to have it, and somebody fighting to take it from me. They're fighting to change it, and I'm fighting to keep it the way I want it. And it's always the battle of the stories. Like you have $1 million in the bank, Jess, but the money is not sitting in the room with you on your person. It's in the bank. You just have a story that you have $1 million in the bank, but you don't really have it on you. It's a story. So it doesn't matter what it is. It's always, I got 20 acres. You don't have 20 acres sitting in your pocket. It's the 20 acres where the acres have always been. But you just have a story about having the acres. And somebody might says, hey, this is no longer your 20 acres. You're like, well, I'm battling to keep the story that I have the 20 acres. So it's always the battle of the stories. So your whole life is about battling what story you want to represent you, be able to tell other people, to be able to keep. And when you realize that, it's like, wait a minute, it's all in here. It's not out there. Because out there, you came here and it was there, and you're gonna leave and you're gonna still be there. But what you get to keep is the story. And with that, go battle and win the story you want to keep in your mind and make it an utterly fantastic week.